Hello there. We're going to do systems of equations. And we're going to solve this by doing a process called substitution. I have made, or I will make, 3 videos on 2-1. This is the second one, part 2. Okay, this is the 2 towers of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Here we go. We're going to do substitution on this. All right. A lot of people say, well, how do I do it? And I say to them, there is no one way to do this, because substitution involves getting a letter by itself. And you have 4 choices. You could solve this for x, you could solve this for y, you could solve this one for x, or solve this one for y. You have to pick the logical choice. This isn't like playing checkers, it's like playing chess. You have to think about what you're doing and then proceed logically. It makes the most sense to get this by itself because it doesn't have a coefficient other than 1 there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this down here, and I'm going to solve this thing for x. All right, I'm going to get x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 2y, and I have x equals, I'm going to do this super neat because one little negative sign and you are toast on this. Okay, that is correct, and actually I'm going to put a circle around that because I will come back to this in a while. But now I know that x equals negative 2y plus 1. That's what x equals, negative 2y plus 1. Which means, and I'm going to erase this, that x right there equals negative 2x plus 1. So I could insert right here negative 2x plus 1. Now what you don't want to do is put it back in the one that you solved for, because that's like a dog chasing its tail in a circle. You just get nowhere doing that. So we're going to plug it in here. So I'll come over here, and I'll say 3 times, and in that parenthesis, I'm going to put this right here. Negative 2y plus 1 minus 5y equals negative 8. And then we're going to super carefully distribute that through, that 3, and solve that. And we're going to pay close attention to everything here. So this is minus 6y plus 3 minus 5y equals negative 8. We're going to combine like terms now. So it's negative 11y plus 3 equals negative 8. And getting this solved for y, because you notice once we plug this in here, there's only one letter. There's no x in that anymore. That's the whole point of substitution. So now I'm going to subtract 3. Again, being super careful. Negative 11y equals negative 11. Notice these equal signs are lined up quite nice there. I want you to make a game out of that. That's important. Divide both sides by the coefficient there, negative 11. That cancels, and y equals 1. Positive 1, because it's a double negative there. So that's a positive 1. So that's half my answer. It's not the whole thing. That's half of it. That's the y value, because remember, your answer here is going to be some sort of x, y coordinate point, because these on this xy axis, these two things are going to cross somewhere, and you're trying to find that point. That's what we're doing. What I would do now is take this y equals 1, positive 1, and plug it back into one of these y's. Now you could pick the top one, you could pick the bottom one, or the pro tip of the day when you substitute, this is the advantage of substituting, is use this one. All right, just stick it right there. Put the 1 in for that y right there. So it'd be x equals, it cuts the work down a little bit. Substitution versus elimination is a lot more work. So we solve this for x, and we should be about done with this. Plus 1, so x would equal negative 1. So our final answer then is, of course, going to be our xy point, and it's going to be negative 1, positive 1, because x is negative 1, y is positive 1. This is a classic example of substitution. It's a lot of work. It has its advantages, but it's not as favored as elimination. But there you go. There's a good example. Talk to you later.